I understand the explanations provided by the proposition, and from a moral stance, I also agree with some of the foundations for the presented argument. I am in accordance with my opponent's words on the inhuman nature of the dolphin drive hunts and slaughtering in Taiji, Japan, and I am aware of the extremely negative physical and psychological effects that they have on the dolphins, whom, as the proposition and I also agree, are animals of advanced and human comparable intelligence. I must say that I too see the need to stop or at least slow down the deadly hunts, but I cannot agree with the proposed resolution simply because, based on the Charter of the United Nations, the actions proposed by my opponent would go against the UN's own words about the support of each nation's sovereignty and self determination and its purpose to drive successful international cooperation in solving international problems. So it would therefore be illogical for the UN to demand that one specific nation stop doing something that is well within their current rights and that does not violate any established international laws, treaties, or conventions. According to the UN Charter, three of its main purposes are basically to 1. Keep international peace and security and to take peaceful action in order to ensure their longevity. Second, to advance positive relations between countries in accordance to principles of equal rights and self determination. And number 3, to, quote, achieve international cooperation in solving international problems of an economic, social, cultural, or humanitarian character, and in promoting and encouraging respect for human rights and for fundamental freedoms for all without distinction as to race, sex, language, or religion, end quote. Furthermore, the first principle by which the Charter expects the United Nations to act explicitly states, and I quote, the organization is based on the principle of the sovereign equality of all its members, end quote. So my point is that, according to the very own Charter of the United Nations, the organization cannot make any demands that violate the sovereignty of a nation, especially in a situation like the dolphin slaughter in Taiji that occurs well within Japanese waters and that the local government defends as part of their traditions. Even though the events are inhumane and extremely damaging to the dolphin species, the United Nations can't just go attacking Japanese culture. Forcing the people to stop an act which they see as a part of their tradition would not encourage them to cooperate in international manners, especially if the organization in charge acts biasly against them. Because of those reasons, I believe that the proposition should be negated, for there are other manners in which the United Nations can take action in this matter. There exist a number of pre-established treaties and conventions that potentially hold the power to successfully and legally outlaw the dolphin hunts, which would allow the United Nations to act within their boundaries and do what is best for the dolphin species. The dolphins and other small cetaceans are not protected or included in the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or the United Nations World Charter for Nature, or the International Convention for the Regulation of Whaling. I propose that the UN involvement on the matter focus more on these international laws and treaties in order to change and update them and to draft up new ones to better protect the rights of animals and allow the UN to legally fight for them.